Austin's Sun Radio. Their tagline is the best music under the sun. That isn't just a catchphrase. Sun Radio is literally powered by the sun. They have giant solar panels on their roof. And guess what? While Texas was in the dark this week, Sun Radio was able to stay on the air and keep people informed. Here to talk about how this works is Denver O'Neil with Sun Radio. How are you doing?
I'm well, Casey. How are you?
Doing pretty well. So talk about how y'all operate when there's not a historic weather event. Do the solar panels act as a reserve, or do they completely power the station all the time? Talk about how that works.
Sure. So we have enough panels on our studio scaled to size so that we can cover our daily usage and then some throughout the day. So most days on a good just Austin day, where even on a cloudy day, we make enough, but on a good day, we make enough to just to cover what we're generating. When we built these studios, it's an old house and we remodeled it. And we also did certain things like a spray foam insulation and then other layers of insulation, better windows, and a lot of other things that make it more efficient for the panels to not have to work so hard.
We'll talk about this week when the weather started getting dicey. What was this like for you guys? You came to the station and what did y'all start doing?
We made it through the first night to about 60%, and I felt, grateful for that. Obviously at home, it wasn't so lucky, and a lot of other homes obviously too. And so I got back up here the next day, got 4-wheel drive. I was safe. I did it safely, and took an assessment of what was going on and lowered our power consumption to help the batteries work better. And then just kind of, crossed our fingers like the rest of us. And 53 hours later, we were lucky enough to be restored. I say lucky, we would gladly have had a neighbor have the grid back rather than us, but we feel blessed to have then put energy back into the grid from our solar panels.
You mentioned some of the power that you generated, you sort of gave back to the grid. Talk about how that works.
Sure. So we have some great panels and infrastructure designed by Freedom Solar Power. And we have an actual a Tesla, it's called a Powerwall, and that's the battery backup. And it's intelligent enough to realize, your load at your house is, 0.5 kilowatt hours, and your panels are creating 1.5 to 8 kilowatt hours. And so it says, okay, here's 0.5 going to your house, and those 7 I'm sending over to the grid. So Austin Energy gets that back. We don't get money back. We just get a rebate, basically just a running negative amount. But, we hope that that's going to our neighbors.
And y'all had to physically get on the roof and clear the ice off of these panels this week, right? Talk about that.
Yeah, so there was some that had already melted and they're black, so it helped. But, after the snow, the first couple of days after were beautiful and sunshine. And so I knew it was important to get that cleared off as soon as possible. And we have some climbing gear from being radio guys in towers. So, we safely just broomed it off and got it and let the sun do the rest.
Last question here. The Texas power grid has just become a very political topic this week. People are pointing fingers at different types of energy. What's the takeaway message here in your mind after this week?
We need diversity. You got to have all forms, but we need the technology that we brag about so much to come up to scale as well. One could generalize that as a city, we believe in climate change, but we're not acting and getting our systems ready for, Valentine's winter storm. So the proof's in the pudding, and you got to start acting and getting us ready for the next one, because in 6 months, it's going to be 112, and there could be this again.
Denver O'Neil with Sun Radio. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Casey.